All right, so let's just get right into it, I guess. Conquered. What a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
You guys, our listeners, just blew up our inbox, like flooded it with all these articles and comments about Sony shutting down Firewalk Studios, the devs behind this epic fail of a hero shooter. And, dude, the internet is like a dumpster fire right now with all the hot takes and conspiracy theories. It's insane.
It's crazy out there for sure.
So, strap in, I guess, because we're going deep on this one. We're going to figure out how the hell this happened and maybe, hopefully, see if there are any lessons to be learned from this absolute train wreck.
Right.
Okay, first, setting the scene a little bit, Conquered, right? This was a 5v5 hero shooter. They were trying to, I don't know, break into a genre that's already dominated by, giants. Overwatch, Apex, come on, what were they thinking?
Yeah, not exactly a smart move, was it?
And not only that, but they launched it as a paid game.
Yeah.
$40.
Yeah.
In a world where, almost every other competitor is free to play. And to top it all off, they, completely missed the whole hero shooter craze. By what, a year? Talk about bad timing.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the comments we saw were just brutal. This game has zero redeeming qualities, gone like a fart in the wind. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a tough market to crack, that's for sure. I mean, especially when you're basically asking people to pay for something that they can get for free somewhere else,
Right.
And if you're not bringing anything new to the table, really new, well, good luck.
Yeah. So it's Conquered learned that the hard way.
It did. Big time.
But here's where things get even spicier.
Okay.
The blame game.
Right.
Reddit is a war zone right now.
Mm-hmm.
People are going at it. Some are tearing into the devs, calling them out of touch, arrogant. There was this one comment just straight up said, toxic positivity and circle jerking will do that. Damn. But then you've got, the other side of this whole thing pointing the finger at Sony execs. Why the hell did they even greenlight this doomed project in the first place?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
It is.
And of course, we got to mention the drama.
Okay.
There's this Redditor, Brian Storm URL, claims some bigwig at Firewalk was on Twitter calling people idiots after the game tanked.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Not a good look.
No, not at all. But, it does kind of highlight that whole echo chamber thing that can really, just poison game development.
Yeah.
When you're surrounded by yes people all the time,
Yeah.
it's easy to lose sight of what actual players actually want. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Okay, but that brings us to the $1 million question here. Where the hell did that rumored $400 million budget go? Seriously, $400 million.
It's a lot of money.
It is. And supposedly, a good chunk of that was just marketing. But so many people, they were Conquered. What the hell is Conquered?
This one Redditor, Cute and Sweet 95, I think summed it up perfectly. It's fascinating how they managed to spend that much on advertising, but I've never even heard of Conquered. How do you even do that?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, was this just a colossal marketing failure? Did they, just piss money away on a game that nobody wanted? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough to say for sure without seeing the specifics of their marketing strategy, but something definitely went wrong somewhere. You can throw all the money in the world at a problem, but if you're not targeting the right audience, it's useless.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, it's like setting a pile of cash on fire and expecting it to magically turn into a hit game.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a cautionary tale. Even with all that money, you just can't assume success.
Yeah, for sure.
And this kind of brings up another interesting thing. A lot of people I've seen are comparing this to Sony shutting down Japan Studio, that team that was behind Gravity Rush, Ape Escape.
Oh yeah. The studio that gave us Bloodborne, right?
Yeah.
Got shut down a while back, and gamers are still pissed about it. So to see another studio bite the dust, especially after such a public flop, I don't know, it's not a good look for Sony.
It's not.
Some people are even saying that this shows a shift in Sony's strategy. They're moving away from these unique titles, these more niche games that Japan Studio was known for.
Yeah.
And they're just focusing on these big budget blockbuster kind of things.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. It's like they're chasing trends instead of actually nurturing the studios that produce those cult classics, right?
Right.
Look at their recent releases. A lot of sequels, remakes, safe bets, you know what I mean? Not a lot of risk taking.
Yeah.
And then when they do take a risk, like with Conquered, it explodes in their face.
Yeah. Speaking of risks blowing up in their face, could anything have saved this game? Was there any way this could have actually worked?
I don't.
Because like some Redditors, they had some kind of interesting ideas. Like Slions89 thinks the art style was like a major problem. Said it was like bland, especially compared to like Overwatch's, that iconic look.
Right.
And Cyberpunk suggested that like a free-to-play model, maybe some cooler character designs, could have at least built like a decent player base.
I mean, yeah, going free to play would have given them a fighting chance, that's for sure. Like, that's the standard for a reason. And yeah, I mean, the art style could have been a factor, I guess. Like, you got to stand out, especially in such a crowded market. And Concord, visually, it just didn't pop, It's like trying to sell a plain white T-shirt when everyone else is like rocking designer brands, you know what I mean?
Or like releasing a fart in a windstorm. Nobody's going to notice.
Exactly. But even with all those changes, I mean, it's tough to say if Concord could have really, truly succeeded,
Yeah.
The hero shooter market, I mean, it is...
Survival of the fittest, right?
Right. You need more than just, like, a good game, right? You need a solid community. You need a thriving esports scene, content creators hyping it up, all that. It's like, it's a whole ecosystem. And if you can't build that, you're toast.
So you're saying, like, even if Concord nailed the art style, went free to play, avoided all the PR disasters, they still might have failed.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, a market, it is that competitive. You need luck. You need good timing. You need a whole lot of other things to break your way. And Concord just didn't have it.
Yeah, they wiped out pretty spectacularly.
They sure did.
Yeah.
So what about Firewalk? Like the actual developers, the people making the game, where do they go from here?
Yeah, what happens to them now?
Well, I mean, some of them they'll find new jobs, hopefully, at studios that don't implode quite so dramatically. But I mean, let's be real. Having a high-profile failure on your resume, it's not exactly a selling point.
Right.
I mean, it's got to be tough, right? Like you pour your heart and soul into a project for years, and it just crashes and burns, and all these armchair quarterbacks on Reddit are just tearing you apart.
Yeah.
It's brutal, and it highlights the human cost of these closures. It often gets overlooked. It's not just about profits and losses. It's about people's livelihoods, their passions, their dreams.
Yeah. Okay, but let's not forget Firewalk's little farewell message, right? Remember that thing they posted on X, trying to spin it positive, talking about how they're proud of their team and building a new engine, and then there's that cryptic ending. See you in the Tempest. What the hell does that even mean?
Right. I mean, it's open to interpretation for sure. Maybe it's a hint at a new project, right? Maybe even a Conquered successor trying to rise from the ashes. Or maybe it's just a poetic farewell. Honestly, I think it's a bit of both, saying goodbye to Conquered, but not giving up on their dreams, like weathering the storm and coming back stronger.
Yeah. I dig that. A comeback story. Everybody loves a good comeback story, right?
Yeah.
Especially in gaming.
Totally. I mean, the gaming industry, it thrives on innovation, on pushing boundaries, on taking risks. And, sometimes those risks, they flop. They flop hard. But that doesn't mean we should stop taking them, right?
Right.
We need those bold ideas, even if they don't always work out. Otherwise, the whole industry, it just gets stale.
Yeah. It's like that saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Or in this case, you fail 100% of the games you don't launch.
Exactly. So here's to Firewalk Studios. They may be gone, but they left their mark, even if it's a crater the size of Concord's budget. And hey, who knows, right? Maybe someday they'll rise from the ashes, like a phoenix or a tempest or whatever.
I like the optimism. Okay, but I think we got to shift gears a little bit here and talk about the game itself.
Okay.
Like, was it truly as bad as everyone is saying? Or was it just like, a victim of bad timing and just like marketing incompetence?
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, the gameplay, it wasn't awful. It was like a fairly standard hero shooter, nothing groundbreaking, The problem was it just felt uninspired, derivative, like a cheap knockoff of its more successful rivals.
So not just a paid game and a free-to-play world, but also like not even a good paid game.
Pretty much, yeah.
And what about like the character designs? Those seem to be like a major sticking point for a lot of people.
Yeah, they were a choice. They were trying to be edgy and over the top, but it just came off as generic and forgettable.
Right.
I mean, they were competing with games like Overwatch that have like instantly recognizable heroes. Conquer it just couldn't measure up.
It's like they threw a bunch of random design elements into a blender and just hoped for the best.
Exactly. And in a genre where character and lore are so important, Conquer just it didn't offer anything to latch onto. No personality, no hook.
Speaking of no hooks,
Yeah.
let's circle back to that ridiculous $400 million budget. Like how do you even spend that much on a game that just vanishes without a trace?
I mean, salaries, all that tech, marketing, it adds up. But even so, it's a staggering amount. And it raises questions about Sony's decision-making process. Like, who the hell greenlit this? Were they just blinded by their own success? Did they think they could just slap the Sony logo on anything and it would sell?
Sounds like a severe case of hubris.
Definitely. And now they're paying the price along with the developers who are now out of a job.
So what does this mean for Sony going forward? Will they play it safe from now on or double down on the big budget blockbusters?
I mean, it's hard to say, but this whole Conquered mess, it's got to have them rethinking their strategy. They need to start listening to their fan base. Maybe take a few more chances on those those unique, those riskier projects.
Right.
If they want to stay on top, they can't afford to keep making these kinds of mistakes.
Yeah, it's a lesson a lot of companies could stand to learn. Don't be arrogant.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate your audience. And for God's sake, don't throw away hundreds of millions of dollars on a game that nobody wants.
Well said. And let's not forget, I guess, the most important players in this whole saga, the gamers, the people who actually play the games, the ones who ultimately decide, if a game sinks or swims.
And in this case, they torpedoed Concord straight to the bottom of the ocean. Like the reaction has been, well, let's just say they haven't been shy about expressing their disappointment.
Yeah. To put it mildly, yeah. There's a lot of anger, a lot of I told you so's. And a sense that Sony, they really dropped the ball on this one. I mean, gamers they're savvier than ever. They see right through the cash grabs and the half-assed attempts.
Yeah, they're not afraid to call bullshit when they see it.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, I think. Keeps the industry honest.
Exactly. Gamers, they have a voice and they're using it. And that's how it should be.
Right. So to all the gamers out there who are feeling burned by Concord, we hear you. You were right. This game, it was a mess. Keep calling out the bad games. Keep demanding better. You have the power to shape the industry. Your
voices matter, and even if it doesn't always feel like it, the industry, it is listening.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, right?
Yeah.
Sony's blunders, Firewalk's demise, the game itself, the gamer backlash, the whole 9 yards. But the big question is what happens next?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I mean, Sony's they gotta lick their wounds, reassess, try to win back some trust. Firewalk, well, I mean, they're gone, but hopefully the developers they land on their feet and create something amazing. And for the industry as a whole, it's a reminder that even the giants can fall, and that ultimately it's the gamers who hold the power.
So, final verdict on Concord.
Yeah.
Necessary failure, expensive mistake, a cautionary tale for the ages. What are we thinking?
It's going to be debated for years to come, but one thing's for sure. Conquered, it goes down in history as one of the biggest flops of all time.
Yeah.
And its legacy, a reminder that in gaming nothing is guaranteed. Even with a massive budget, a talented team, the backing of a major corporation, you can still crash and burn.
And sometimes you crash and burn spectacularly.
Spectacularly indeed.
Well, that's a pretty bleak note to end on, huh?
Sorry, I tend to get a little philosophical when I'm dissecting, a train wreck of this magnitude.
Hey, that's what we love about you. You always bring the deep thoughts.
Someone has to.
Okay, let's wrap this up on a slightly more positive note, I guess.
Yeah.
What can we as gamers, takeaway from the whole Concord debacle?
I mean, the biggest takeaway, we have power.
Yeah.
We decide what succeeds and what fails. So we need to use that power wisely. Support the good games, the innovative ones, the ones that respect, our time and intelligence, and be vocal about the bad ones, the greedy ones, the ones that feel like cash grabs.
Don't be afraid to vote with your wallets and your voices.
Exactly. Demand better. The gaming industry, it's constantly evolving, and we, the gamers, we have a role to play in shaping that evolution. We can help create a future where games are more than just products. They're art, they're entertainment, they're experiences that can enrich our lives.
And that's a future I can get behind.
Me too. And it's a future worth fighting for.
All right, folks, that's it for this week's deep dive. We've gone deep. We've dissected the wreckage, and hopefully we've learned a thing or two along the way. As always, thanks for listening, and remember, stay curious, stay informed, and keep on gaming.
And don't pre-order games.
Words to live by.
Seriously though, pre-ordering, it's like playing Russian roulette with your wallet. Wait for the reviews, people.
Solid advice. Okay, but before we wrap this up, gotta address the elephant in the room, that cryptic "See you in the Tempest" line from Firewalk's goodbye message.
Yeah.
Any theories?
I mean, it's the $1 million question, right? Some think it's a tease for a new project, maybe even a conquered successor, trying to rise from the ashes. Others, they say it's just a poetic farewell. Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. Saying goodbye to Concord, but not giving up on their dreams,
right.
like weathering the storm and coming back stronger.
Yeah, I dig that. A comeback story. Everyone loves a good comeback story, right?
Right.
Especially in gaming.
Totally. The gaming industry, it thrives on innovation, pushing boundaries, taking risks, and sometimes those risks they flop hard.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we should stop taking them. We need those bold ideas, even if they don't always pan out. Otherwise, the industry it just gets stale.
Yeah, it's like that saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Or in this case, you fail 100% of the games you don't launch.
Exactly. So Firewalk Studios, they may be gone, but they left their mark. Even if it's a crater the size of Concord's budget. And hey, who knows? Maybe someday they'll rise from the ashes like a phoenix or a tempest or whatever.
I like the optimism.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, I think that's officially a wrap. We've plumbed the depths of this disaster, sifted through the wreckage, and emerged hopefully a little wiser. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride.
It's been a bumpy one, that's for sure.
As always, thanks for listening to the deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep on gaming.
And for God's sakes, wait for the reviews.
Truer words have never been spoken.
I mean, seriously though, pre-ordering. It's like playing Russian roulette with your wallet. Just wait for the reviews, people. Come on.
Solid advice. Okay, but before we wrap this whole thing up, we gotta address the elephant in the room, right?
Right.
That cryptic "See you in the Tempest" line from Firewalk's goodbye message. Theories? What do we think?
I mean, everyone's talking about it, right? It's the $1 million question. Some people they think it's a tease, right, for a new project, maybe even a conquered successor trying to rise from the ashes. Other people they say it's just like a poetic farewell. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. It's saying goodbye to Concord, but not giving up on their their dreams, like weathering the storm and coming back stronger.
I dig that. A comeback story. Everybody loves a good comeback story, right? Especially in gaming.
Totally. The gaming industry, it thrives on innovation, on pushing boundaries,
Right.
taking risks. And sometimes, yeah, those risks they flop hard. But that doesn't mean we should stop taking them. We need those bold ideas, even if they don't always, pan out. Otherwise, the industry, the whole thing, it just gets stale.
Yeah. It's like that saying, right? you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Or in this case, yeah, you fail 100% of the games you don't launch.
Exactly. So here's to Firewalk Studios, right? They may be gone, but they left their mark. Even if it's, a crater the size of Concord's budget, and hey, who knows? Maybe someday they'll rise from the ashes like a phoenix or Tempest or whatever.
Yeah. I like the optimism. Okay, folks, I think that's officially a wrap. We've plumbed the depth of this disaster, sifted through the wreckage, and emerged hopefully a little wiser.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this wild ride.
It's been a bumpy one, that's for sure.
As always, thanks for listening to the deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep on gaming.
And for God's sakes, wait for the reviews.
Truer words have never been spoken.